Hello and welcome back to December Daily Day 7. And if you catch a glimpse of what's on my left wrist, it is my Fitbit that came back to life. I brought it to the office because I have a spare charger that I left on my desk. And I was just really trying to check if my Fitbit was really broken or if I should just go ahead and buy a new smartwatch or fitness tracker. So I really don't want to buy it unless absolutely necessary, so I did give it a shot, and it actually works. So I think it's my cable that was malfunctioning or doesn't work anymore, so my Fitbit is pretty much alive, and I just wrote a haha JK in that spread that we did about the RIP Fitbit. It's so funny. I was like laughing to myself like, oh my goodness, I dedicated a whole spread to the Fitbit, and yet it is still alive, so it is still with us. And I'm not complaining though. I'm quite happy that I don't have to make that big of a purchase, mainly because I want to be a lot more mindful of my spending going into 2023. I did make a lot of sort of stationary acquisitions this year, especially getting into the hobby for the very first time, so I am a little bit cognizant of where my money goes, and I'm going to try and be a little bit more disciplined with myself. Alright, moving on to what's going on here on the page. It is really going to be a simple spread. I think the next few days or any sort of workday really is going to be quite simple because there is not much that happens in the day that at least I can say here. A lot of it is about work, and high-key I don't really want to be journaling about my work. So I'm just journaling about stuff that happened in the middle of it or outside of it. And although it's simple, it is real life, so this is what I'm giving. On the left-hand side, I was meeting a colleague, a new one actually, for the very first time today. We decided to connect over coffee over at Blue Bottle, which is, I believe, a Seattle or an American-based coffee company that has spread its wings and now exists in a lot of parts of Asia as well. So there are a number of Blue Bottle shops in Hong Kong. We went to one of them. And we grabbed some coffee. I ordered an espresso, and what I didn't know was that they serve the espresso with tonic water, which is really interesting, but I thought it was a really unique combo. I've known of cafes that serve espresso with water, like with a glass of water on the side, I guess because it dehydrates you in a sense, like an espresso does, but tonic water is definitely new. So I know Blue Bottle does have their tonic espresso, so I don't know if this was kind of part of the combo, but anyways, I just wanted to document that because it was a little bit different from my day. And on the right hand side was a more ordinary part of my day, which is my body pump workout. It is essentially like a cardio slash weight workout routine for about 15 minutes. I did it during my lunch break, and sometimes I go for workouts in the morning, and I feel like that's usually the case between spring and fall. But in the winter, the sun sets quite late. Like when I wake up to go work out in the winter, like sometimes the sun is not even up yet. So I really don't feel like getting up in wintertime for working out. So I just decided to shimmy over that workout session during lunch, especially because I can just eat lunch while I work in front of my laptop, and that's no big deal. So that's what I did today. Did a body pump workout, and I also decided to list my current weights that I use for different tracks. So body pump does consist of different tracks depending on each muscle group. It starts with like a warm up, which is the full body, and then it goes to your legs for the squats, your chest, your arms, your back, and finally your abs. So there are definitely different weights associated with each muscle group depending on your muscle strength. I just wanted to record where I am in this time because as everything goes with the human body, we go through fluctuations and we change, and I did improve a little bit this year. I feel, especially on the squat track, I was a 5 kg'er on one side before, now I am an 8.5 kg'er. And I just wanted to record that in my journal because I realized that this is a really good way to have a little time capsule kind of situation. And I was actually thinking too that I want some of my spreads to be kind of like my information diet. So like the YouTube videos that I watch, the books that I read this year, the podcasts that I listen to, the music that I listen to, like all of these make up my media consumption diet. And I want to record that because it's not like it's going to be the same every single year. I know a couple of people are also doing Vlogmas and I'm watching them as well. So I want to also record that. Because I realized like the people that I used to watch doing Vlogmas, for example, Superwoman aka Lily Singh, doesn't do them anymore. And I remember like that used to be a big part of my Decembers, so I want to remember that. Anyways, here I decided that I would go with a really big 7 because when I was trying to figure out where I should put the 7 on the spread, I was figuring out which corner, and then I thought like why not just put it smack dab in the middle? It's just 2 lines anyway, so that's what I did. This is a really short and sweet journaling spread, but again, this is part of a workday, so there's really not much I can do, and I don't really have a lot of time after work anyways, so I decided to, just stick to what happened, and I don't have to do something for the sake of journaling in December daily. Alright, that's going to be it from me today. Let me know how your December daily is going because we are on day 7. If you're doing it, of course, or if you're doing some sort of other challenge in December. Somebody commented on my video a couple of days ago saying they're doing Tree-cember, in which they're sketching a different tree every day in December, and I think that's kind of cool too. Last year I did the Coast Card challenge with Warrior Painters, where I painted on a coast card or a coaster slash coaster that they turn into a card with some gesso paint. I painted with gouache. I painted a couple of different objects. I believe that there are themes, but not really. And I had a lot of fun. I even traded some of those coast cards with people, and I'd love to stay connected there, but it just gave me a lot of pressure at that time to really like pull out my paints and paint every single time. I thought that illustrated journaling was a little bit easier because I can just draw on what I do in the day and there's no pressure to make it super aesthetically pleasing. Or at least it's enough for me because the journal is at the end of the day for me and for a handful of you that watch my videos, so thank you. Alright, rambling territory. I'm gonna make my exit here and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye!